I say you all know
the
you're
second
the subject
clock.
matter
Okay,
experts.
I
You
wouldn't
are the
recommend
subject matter
that.
experts of your own domains. So have fun.
I can, if I may jump in 1 second. Um, you already know the story. Most important, just tell us where you are at, right? Because sometimes it's hard to understand where you are in your product development cycle, in your fundraising cycle, just so we can understand where you are in your journey, right? So it's easier for us to understand. And if you already have customers, please say that. Or if you have some kind of pilots, MVPs, just say that, because that's just incredible to hear that you have validation on that.
With customers, we don't have anything. So thank you for sharing that, Alina. And if the best product in the world, if the customers don't know about it, it doesn't help us. Very good. I see Vinod is sharing his screen. Then let us please get started with the Zana trade, and the clock is starting right now. I take that back. We're gonna.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry about that.
I'm still in office, just finishing up. Yeah, please.
There we are. Vinod, we can see your screen. The Zana trade. The stage is yours. 2 minutes.
Okay. Now,
Yep. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
local art, next, local art, global reach, community growth. This is Dasana. Connecting fine art artisans with art appreciator is our mission. Many artisans depend on daily local sales and reluctant to venture into online or global commerce due to perceived complexities. Meanwhile, art appreciators are actively seeking convenience and easy access to authentic art that's often hard to find. Next, our fine art is a high value product primarily appealing to individuals. Next. Next. Our fine art is highly valued product primarily appealing to individuals of Latin heritage. We target those aged 30 to 60 years, with 20% of the US population being Latino and 40% of this group falling within our target age. We have identified a potential market of 26 million people. Next. We establish commercial entities in each country. Dasana Mexico directly partners with artisans, managing product sourcing and all international shipping complexities. Products then flow to Dasana US, which cultivates a strong relationship with our final customers through online platforms and direct partnerships with companies. This is how we simplify complexity and offer convenient access for our appreciators. Next, meet the team. With over 4 decades of supply chain and service expertise, we streamline logistics to ensure the convenience expected by our appreciators while upholding fair practices throughout the process. Next, we are currently in the ideation product development phase. Our go-to-market strategy will heavily rely on Instagram and TikTok for digital storytelling and community building. We leverage image carousel for digital product showcase and video content to highlight the making process and artisan's journey. We
Thank you. I'll have to
anticipate
stop you here. Judges, if you could share your feedback, 2 minutes, please, if you would, between both judges.
Sure. Good morning. I guess I could start. Thank you for the presentation. Very clean, very descriptive presentation. I would say that a couple of questions that come to mind is you talk about the art market being of Latin heritage. I see art market divided in a couple different areas. Are these buyers of art that will be appreciated for its beauty? And then you have an art market that appreciates because of the invested value. And I think that can be a lot larger. So I'm not sure exactly why you would, maybe you start with a certain population and then venture on. Some of the mechanics of the purchasing and logistics, I see you have a lot of logistics experience, so I'm assuming that's there in your team, but it would be good to understand how you'd be moving these pieces around, especially some of the heavier ceramic pieces. Just to understand a little bit more of the logistics of that. Then the other thing that I've seen in these particular types of projects, and I've seen it myself with products, is the supply chain, the production, the number of artisans producing, the volume of works. Is it a volume-driven business, or is it more of a specific high-end per unit unique value business? I think some of that could be fleshed out further in the presentation and for your business model as well before we get into the financials and whatnot. Thank you.
And just briefly to add to that, from what I've heard, the problem, the first one was focusing on selling art, especially local arts, right? And then we talk about logistics. So we need to highlight what's the problem with logistics, right? Is there a problem with logistics? Why are you trying to sell logistics problem if you're not selling logistics problem? And then if you are, then say, okay, what are the logistics problems? What is it that you're trying to sell? And then more importantly, who are you selling it to? Right? Because if you're focusing on the artist, collecting the artist, great. Well, who are the buyers? Individuals, maybe they're businesses, because businesses also buy art, right? We go in the business offices and we see a lot of paintings and arts. Maybe businesses will support local artists. So I think maybe just at least touch on that. I know you don't have a lot of time, but touch on that high level points of what's the problem? Who are you, what's your solution? Who are you selling it to, right? And then quickly how you do it, what do you need for that? Okay, thank you so much. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, judges. Yuma Wellness is next up. Could you pull up the slide, please? The stage is yours. 2 minutes.
My name is Angie, and I'd like to share my vision of transforming women's wellness for billions globally. Next. Gentle movement is an effective way for women to reconnect with their bodies. Women are craving their own safe spaces in the fitness industry with their unique needs in mind. Next. Based on user research, women turn to movement and gentle mindful routines to help regulate emotions and go from living in their head to living from their heart. There's also something so special about women uplifting each other and connecting to their hearts and purpose. Next. Our solution redefines women's wellness through our digital platform of Pilates content and myofascial release tools for deep stress relief and recovery. We offer AI-powered personalization customized for the woman's menstrual cycle and unique preferences, fertility and maternity support, and real-time form correction powered by computer vision for mat and reformer Pilates, combining feminine wisdom with data-driven insights. Next. Our franchise model is designed to be transformative, not transactional. It empowers studio owners and instructors to grow their business with our online platform in a freemium creator model and teacher trainings. We also work with boutique fitness studios and luxury wellness resorts on custom offerings and retreats. Next, we're committed to giving back from day one. What sets us apart is a community rooted in faith, scaled through technology, and powered by purpose. We partner with sisterhood groups and pay it forward with philanthropy and our Angel Impact Fund. Next, our motto is move with love, and these are our 3 pillars: strength, heart, and soften. They're all equally important in our mission to support women's wellness. Next, this is my story. From growing up in the heart of Palo Alto to leading women's health experiences at Apple, I'm now going all in on building Ayuma. Ayuma comes from the Japanese word yume, which means dream, and this is my dream. Next, the long-term vision includes a global community connected by a digital platform and starts
Thank you,
with
Angie.
expanding our MVP. Thank you so
How much,
much,
Angie?
and join us
Judges,
on our mission to join
I'll have to stop you
support
here.
women's wellness.
Judges, your feedback, please.
Thank you. I'll go first this time. Thank you so much. Great presentations. I love the overall your energy theme, what you're trying to do. Slides are a bit heavy, as you could probably see and tell. So something needs to be cleaned up, maybe focusing on the key, most important points as you're presenting, just having those bullet points, and you could have this deck for something else for other purposes if you're emailing it to someone.
Yeah.
In the beginning was not really clear who is specific customer, right? So if you can start off, who is the customer, what problem you're trying to solve, because you started with opening the store and you talked about then later on B2B2C, who is the customer, studios, and then if it's studios, then what's the problems those studios have? Like, but
Exactly.
right? So maybe highlighting a little bit more why, because if they're buying your product, then why would they buy your product? Like, are you going to make them more money? Are you going to be part of this holistic ecosystem? Like, so just a bit touch on that, and I'll let some.
Understood.
So thank you so much. Yes,
Thank you, Alina.
Yeah.
Great presentation. I enjoyed it. I am wondering in terms of the timeline of where you are. You talk about validating the MVP, but do you have any feedback that you can sort of sprinkle into the presentation of who you've spoken to? I mean, you have the experience at Apple, so you must have a tangential notion. I don't know if you can speak to it, but tangential notion of what the interaction reaction and which markets you would start with first within the market that you service. Which sort of services would you try to pilot first? You can't do everything at once. Um, so I'm just trying to get a sense of timeline and how you would get there and at some point tie that to some sort of financial projection path given your next steps timeline. So that's the piece that I would like to see a bit more clarity. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, judges. Up next, Hika Rituals. We will be playing a video since Jasmine had to hop on a flight. We can accept that in very rare circumstances, if that's the only option. We will collect the feedback and share it with Jasmine as well as the video in this case. Go ahead, please, Vinod.
So,
Vinod, do you need me to jump in and share my screen?
no, I think.
Good morning. So here's David, creative, successful, and respected. But inside, he's scattered, numb, and quietly unraveling. This is not just a personal crisis. This is a systemic breakdown. Our nervous systems are overloaded. Focus is fractured. Emotions shut down, and meaning is fading. And when we stay in overdrive, disconnection becomes dysfunction. Most solutions only soothe or distract. Apps gives dopamine hits, wellness products feel shallow, therapy stays mental and slow, and retreats are temporary escapes. And we know they don't want more hacks. They crave a tangible change they can feel and live every day. That's why we created a system to reset, reconnect, and lead from within. So we offer a subscription-based ritual kit, our scalable high-margin core. We also have a sensory product line rooted in ancient wisdom to deepen the experience and to grow lifetime value. We offer free digital protocols to engage globally and retreats and events to build community loyalty. We already have paying clients, high renewals, a growing community, and strong ESG commitments. Heka is tapping into a massive global spiritual wellness movement. People spend billions on fragmented solutions, but they still lack an integrated, embodied system to truly reconnect. We focus on content-first growth to build trust and authority. So we engage with selective communities, social medias, and events to meet high achievers where they are. Our team combines strong expertise in holistic wellness, mental health, and premium positioning. We're also supported for growth and scaling. We're at a tipping point of a deep cultural shift because performance without presence means nothing. And if you feel it too, let's connect.
Judges, your feedback, please.
I guess I'll go.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Like the presentation, it flows nicely.
Good morning.
I would say that there's a couple of terminologies that are being used here that I'm not sure that everybody understands. I'm not entirely sure if I understand what pre-digital protocols are, sensory product line, subscription-based ritual kit, magnetic entry points, an embodied system, premium positioning, and what the tied ESG is. So I think there's some nomenclature and vocabulary that you're using in the presentation. I'm not sure, at least I don't know what it means, and I kind of got lost in the drift there. So maybe work on that, plain languaging it a little bit more for an audience that might be a bit more general. I'm not sure on that piece. And then you talk about the people who are experiencing these conditions. I think we want to narrow down that target market a little bit more, really understand who you're targeting first and make it a little bit smaller, make the world a bit smaller when it start there and be able to tell that story based on who that they is. Thank you.
Thank you. And just to add on that, it's a great to hear the story, but then for a short amount of time that we have, if you already have customers or if you already have traction or users, great. Let's highlight that. You already have revenue, say how much revenue you have, how many users you have, how many, retreats have you had. All of that gives credibility of instead of you telling like, oh, we're already doing great. Just show us the numbers. Tell us how many supporters do you have, how many followers you have, and things like that. And in general, if you're early on in your conceptual design, a lot of things are theoretical. As you move along with your journey and you start actually getting some traction, that speaks more volume than any other pitch of you telling how good you're doing. So this is actually for everyone. If you have any kind of information, attraction, validation, followers, it's really good to present that. And it's going to be different lenses for investors to see that you already have something, you already have a product that is on the market, it's validated, and you are actually looking to grow and scale your company. But thank you, great presentation.
Thank you, judges. Lumina, please get ready. The stage is yours.
Billions of dollars in philanthropic giving move across Asia each year, but are we truly making a difference? Next. Next, please. I started Lumina because of my personal giving challenges as a funder. After having interviewed many partners, I better understand the challenges in this space. There are many challenges facing funders, including misinformed and misguided giving. They want better information and greater accountability from charities. On the flip side, many charities are struggling with ineffective fundraising because they find it hard to measure impact and they find it hard to report on those impacts. Next. Introducing Spark by Lumina, our AI platform designed to solve for challenges in giving and fundraising. Our charity directory allows discoverability and it produces insights that are unique to accountability for funders so that within 5 seconds, they will understand whether they will give to a charity or not. We also have a customized portfolio view for funders to track the impact of their goals. For charities, we have an impact tracker. Later, I'll share more about our new product, Agile Impact Reporting, or AIR for short. We also have a social feed because we believe it's important to socially and emotionally connect with the funders. Next. Our charity directory and funder portfolio views are geared towards funders to solve for challenges in giving. Next. And our impact tracker and our social feed views are geared towards charities to solve for challenges in fundraising. Next. We are excited to share about our AIR product. Our solution radically improves the need for social impact reporting for charities. And it's very easy because it uses a very novel method of WhatsApp voice messages to collect data. And we use AI and LLMs to transcribe, SenseMake, and automatically generate the impact reports. Next. This is an example of an impact report that we prepared for the Parkinson Society Singapore. Thus far, we have concluded 2 pilot studies. Next. We are piloting in Singapore for
Thank
3
you, Glenn.
reasons.
I'll have to stop you here. Judges, your feedback, please.
Thank you. Great presentation. So just to kind of get straight in, you're trying to go in the market, a nonprofit market. Is that your customer? If that's yes, then what's your business model? Because they're typically strapped on cash. Maybe your business model is related to some donations, contributions, whatnot. Then if you're going in that space, what's the competition? What is it that there are other products on the market that help manage founders, donations, philanthropies, grants? And then how are you going to be different? And I heard a little bit about, interface and how you're going to do that. And then maybe your competitive position is that you're aligning different subset of tools into one, but then you need to clearly state that because there's a lot of there are a lot of products out there, and a lot of places, a lot of them trying to sell to nonprofits and fundraisers and all of these events. And there's some products on generating impact reports. And so it's a crowded space. How you distinguish yourself, how do you position, who can be your customers, go to market customers. You touched a bit on your pilot studies. Great. How long did it take? How much it was? Just very high level, high touch. But great presentation and great cause. Thank you.
Thanks, Alina.
Yes, great presentation. I like the visuals, and I think you had a little bit more content there, so maybe streamlining it a little bit more. I'm wondering if your solution, if you can actually tell sort of a use case, a story of philanthropy wanting to invest, using the tool, making a decision amongst, I don't know, three potential nonprofits, and then executing an investment. That might tell a better story in terms of how the tool works. I have a feeling I know how it works, but I'm not sure if I know how you're planning to make this work. And I like the fact that you added the Agile impact reporting. This could be something that philanthropy uses to monitor whether they've invested or not in a particular nonprofit. So I like this portfolio-oriented approach. I'm just not sure if I'm right on how it is that this is going to work. I'm not quite sure exactly how it works. But if you could tell the story from beginning to end, and now you did present these reports, and then you didn't let us know what the reactions were. So it'd be nice to know if you presented this report, the Agile Impact Report, what was the reaction? What did they think? How did it inform them? These are the concrete repercussions or reactions from potential clients. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
judges.
Steve.
ADITI, please get ready. 2 minutes now.
Wish.
Somebody there?
Wish is on mute.
Sorry, can I do it next one? I'm struggling with my slide.
Next slide.
Okay.
No. Sorry. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute.
You're muted now.
We can do Aditi after this, right? So let's move to the next one. Satya.
Zathia, please. Are you ready?
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. Thank you.
Next slide. Next slide. Let me introduce you to Maria. Oh, sorry, one back. A gifted multidisciplinary artist, spinning plates. Sorry, slide before. A multidisciplinary artist, sliding plates, commissions, invoices, self-promotion, creative block, and burnout. She's deeply committed to her craft, but like so many freelancers, she was never taught how to run a business. And she's not alone. This is the everyday reality for millions of creatives. I've lived this with over a decade in tech. I've also been trying to carve out my own creative practice. I've watched this space evolve without any real infrastructure to support artists as professionals. So I'm building what I wish existed, a tool that helps creators become self-sustaining, confident, and strategically independent. Our discovery is grounded in real voices, highlighting 3 main problems: unstable income, lack of business guidance, and burnout and isolation. Maria is everyone, and she needs help. Next slide. In the UK, 1.15 million freelance creators power a 40 billion plus economy. And across Europe, over 5 million creators make up a 140 billion TAM. So we're starting with visual artists and designers. So they're one of the largest and most active creative segments. And it's our clearest route to entry through a strong direct network. Next slide. Zathia is a toolkit that helps creatives run their careers like businesses, confidently and sustainably. Next slide. It tackles 2 of the core issues: lack of business skills and burnout and isolations. And the features include a creative AI companion for personalized goals, micro learnings, and smart admin support, a community hub for connection, collaboration, and shared growth, and tools to help artists leverage AI to stay creative and in control. Next slide. So what's next? We're excited to finalize our prototype and begin user testing, explore the Gem AI prompt system for personalized learning, define our go-to-market and pricing strategy, and launch an MVP focused on early adopters and high impact tools. Next slide. Zathia is for the people shaping the next era of creativity, a tool made by creatives for creatives, so they can
We'll
not
have to
just be
stop you here.
artists.
Thank you very much. We give an
Yeah.
extra 10 seconds. Thank you for being flexible and jumping in. Judges, your feedback, please.
Great presentation. A couple of thoughts that were going through my head here. I like the idea that you're walking in very clearly articulating the problem solution that was improved from the last presentation. I'm trying to understand. I know that this is creating tools by creatives for creatives. What makes those products? What makes them unique or better suited for creatives? And I know that you mentioned visual artists as your first area of entry. You may have more access to that market directly, but tell me why those artists now from a business perspective, not just from the relationships, but have you had any conceptual interviews with creatives that you can say I spoke to 10 creatives within my network and I offered them this type of product and service and they were very enthusiastic about it? Just give us a little bit more of that. I know that you have experienced this as individuals, as we've discussed in this experience, but how about having a good number of interviews that you can say you have the backing and the support of others in your network? Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Great presentation. Some slides are a bit hard to read if there's a small font. High level. So I think on the problem solution side, I think intuitively people get that in general, artists are struggling and they will struggle even more with AI. You can just, highlight that and they're a backbone for a lot of different economies across the world, right? So you're supporting artists. How you do it? How is it unique? Right? And then the main thing is, are you helping them make money? And if yes, show us how, right? Because you're saying unstable income was all of those things. So intuitively, you're going to support struggling artists, right? So then what's going to be the outcome of that? How do you know that your artists are being supported? And it's not just, you can have any kind of tools, but what's the outcome of that? Are they going to get more money? Right? They're going to get more visibility. Are they going to get more customers? And then high level, you say, these are the problems, the main problem. These are a subset of problems. Then we're solving this main problem. In addition, we're going to solve these subset of problems, right? Because intuitively, artists, they don't want to learn business unless they're going to make the money, right? So just straight up there. And then how are you going to be different? What's the Steve said, basically? What are you going to do differently that's going to support them? And then it's sort of basically, what do you need for that? Like where you are, your MVP, whatnot, what's next for you? But thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you, judges. ADITI, please get ready. 2 minutes from now.
Aditi introducing. Next slide, please. We are driven by deep passion to positively impact the lives of children with autism. Our goal is to create personal training interface that empowers them. Parents are eager for a system that can assist with their children's daily routines and curriculum, especially when delivered in voice they recognize and trust. Next slide.
Before Aditi, there was no real training interface for kids, and parents constantly worry what happens when I'm not around. Next slide, please. Now with Aditi, everyday tasks, conversations, and even academics are guided by familiar words, thereby making it fun for the kids and peace of mind for the parents. Next slide, please. Based on Steve's feedback last time, we are now showing you the prototype. We begin by gathering key details about the child. Then we move into a CTC approach screener that helps identify where the child falls on the autism spectrum. Once that's completed, Aditi provides a clear visual background of the child's support level, which directly determines the personalized services that follow. And here's what makes Aditi different. Every other tool stops at detection. We go beyond into the training interface itself. Next slide, please. After detection, we ask the parent or the caretaker to record their voice for at least 30 seconds. And of course, multiple voices can be recorded and toggled at will. These recordings are then cloned using AI voice synthesis to deliver a digital voice that sounds just like them. They can review, approve, or re-record the voice until it feels right. From there, Aditi supports the child through daily tasks and curriculum-based learning, all in the trusted voice. Next slide, please.
Our market entry strategy is phased approach designed to leverage our MVP, moving from direct support to broader partnership. Our immediate focus will be on assisting parents with autistic children. Tactical focus will shift engaging special education program within schools. Strategic focus will involve forming partnership with healthcares and doctors. We aim to launch this product in US by Q3 25 and global expansion slated Q2 26. Next slide, please.
Thank you. I'll have to stop you here. Judges, your pick.
Yeah, we are done. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I guess I'll go first. Thank you. It would be good to understand, are you clinically tested, validated? Where's this methodology coming from, right? Do you have a doctors you're working with, any kind of specific, unique insight that you're capable of doing, let's say, then somebody else is not able to do? And how are you different, right? Because there's some tools that supporting the early detection, support for autism, also engaging the community. So what are aspects of it unique to you that's different? Maybe it is the methodology, maybe it's how you're doing it. And it would be good to see if you have any validation from, let's say, doctors or therapists or anyone who's working with kids, at least mentioning if you have that, because that's kind of a big question, is where's this methodology coming from? And how do you know that's effective? The bigger thing, right? Like, how do we know that somebody who's taking your course on top of early detection, I'm assuming that's going to happen within the doctor or somebody who's working with children under supervision, and the effectiveness of it. If you have any evidence of that, it would be great if you could share that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good presentation. If you can make the trademark a little bit smaller, it'd be great because it's covering some of the text. I would also say that there's a piece here. I like the story and I like the way you're putting together the app to sort of tell the story, but it kind of fell off after that. I'd like to see if what you're doing is a sequence of events where you're assessing, then you're assisting and accompanying in a journey for a particular a child or a certain age group. I think you want to coordinate that and say it sort of in a bullet format. And I'm also wondering if this is supposed to carry on with a child that's been diagnosed, and then you help them with day-to-day tasks, learning tasks, teenage years and lifetime, sort of depending on where do you start and stop with your services. I would also say this, that you talk about immediate, tactical, and strategic focus. I think some of those words are maybe being confused. I would see strategic as how you're approaching the entire process, and then you can have like an operational focus, and then a tactical, which is your very specific actions. That might confuse people when they hear you speaking of it. So strategic, operational, tactical, I would go in those levels. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen. Alina, Praxis Taxes, get ready, please. 2 minutes from now.
So meet Mary, newly mom, cannot afford childcare. It was like during tax, wanted she's waiting to and don't jobs in diet and recently moved here.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear anything. It's cutting out. It's hard to hear.
We can't hear you at all right now.
May want to try with your video off. That might improve the audio.
Okay. I'm looking, but I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yeah, now we can hear.
We'll start from the beginning again.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, all right. So Mary, newly single mom, cannot afford childcare, was expecting a big refund in tax season, but was disappointed that she's only getting $250. Meet Antonio, works multiple jobs, including ride sharing, moved states. Tax season was overwhelming for him. He had to pay around $800
to finally file his taxes. The US tax code is complicated for the average American. Next slide. 1 in 3 Americans say that the thought of filing taxes actually makes them want to cry. Next slide. Existing solutions are cumbersome and expensive. Softwares don't give you a single window view of how you should plan taxes. Asking advisors is expensive and not accessible to all. And trying to learn everything on your own, people don't know where to start. Next slide. So, to bring clarity in this class, we've launched Praxis, your AI-powered tax coach. Using AI, Praxis simplifies based on your life stage and your situation. We help on potential scenarios such as buying car, move states, and how it might impact taxes. This makes your tax situation easy to understand, helps you forecast your refund or liability, and make changes in your investment strategies based on to build long-term wealth. Next slide. Next slide. We fill the emotional and educational gap when it comes to taxes. Things like overwhelm, scarcity of time, and money, we help resolve these by making your information bite-sized, personalized to your situation in convenient and accessible format, mobile phones. Next slide. We believe that with increasing tax complexity, multiple income households, and complete digitization of personal finance, this is the right time to democratize tax planning as well. Next slide. Our current focus is building forecasting and scenario planning tools for digital natives. This includes Gen Z, young families, and the sandwich generation.
Thank you, Manzi. We'll have
time
to stop you here.
Next slide.
Yeah, just go ahead, please.
Thank you. I can go ahead first. Thank you for the presentation. I understand you're trying to have it from the emotional educational perspective, right? And I think that one of the first things you highlighted, no forecasting, right? So looking ahead, you might touch upon some, you took a couple personas, but freelancers is a big part of your demographic that I would assume fall into, especially since some of them getting a lot of contracts, some of the contracts you don't know, how much you pay right away, if you're going to have any money. So there's could be a demographic in terms of forecasting. Then looking good from that perspective, looking is like, okay, well, the competition, right? There's some big players, obviously, TurboTax, and there's the big names. What do, what they don't do? Right? This is something that you can specifically pinpoint. It's like, okay, well, here's what it's done. Here's how they do it. And here's what we do, right? Because all of this sounds great until it becomes very practical or real, because you're saying solutions are expensive. Then how do you position yourself? Right? Are you going to be non-expensive? You're going to do all of those things, but going to be very cheap, because if for any AI tools you use, you would also have to pay for AI, for software, for your infrastructure to support that. So I would say the problem may be a little bit obvious for some demographic, especially if you're pitching to investors. Then straight in, like, how are you doing? What's different? And your positioning with that in your market and strategy. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation.
Yes, great presentation. I like the flow of what you're trying to, how you're approaching taxes. And I kind of feel like there's W-2 or employees and then everyone else. And most of the other people that are in the non-employee section or getting to other alternative finance and things like this, it gets more and more complicated. It would be nice to see how your product accompanies, whether it be tax season, bookkeeping, compliance, and kind of give a better sense of how much are you going to cover of this area, and some of your personas might address that piece. And what the part that I struggle with is how do you again, what Alina said, how do you compete against the TurboTaxes and all these people have been trying to crack the nut of making this simple when the tax code changes every year? And how do you get out of, can you get away from using a tax expert, or is this integrated with a tax expert? So you have AI help, then you have online help, and then you have in-person help, or how would you close that equation for for the simple users, and maybe that's where you start as the simple user that doesn't have corporations, it doesn't have LLCs, it doesn't have pass-throughs or whatever type of. So I'm just trying to sort of simplify where you would start with this equation and talk about that journey. Thank you.
Thank you, judges. Knowledge-driven operations, please get ready. Could you pull the slide up, Vinod? Stage is yours, 2 minutes.
To scale your robotaxi production from 1 to 240 cars a day, a missing brake sensor microchip or vault can stop 100 cars costing from 100K to 500K. Our AI-powered knowledge-driven platform prevents part shortages, syncs teams, automates solutions, and boosts production by it catches major issues under 10 minutes, ensures 85% uptime, and saves 1 to 4 million yearly. Next slide, please. A part shortage occurs when a key component like a brake sensor, microchip, or a vault is unavailable, halting the robotaxi assembly line. For a company like Zoox, aiming to scale from 1 to 240 cars a day, this can stall thousands of robotaxis, disrupting high volume production and causing major delays and financial losses. Next slide, please. Our team has built 3 platforms ground up, 2 in one of the largest aerospace manufacturing and one of the largest commercial lenders in the world. We have a combined experience of 100 years in platform delivery, software and data engineering experience, including Palantir and Foundry, in solving part shortage. Next slide, please. Part shortage is currently a $500 billion to $1 trillion market. COVID caused a $150 billion loss in the US auto. 1.5 million fewer cars were sold. Currently, the tariffs have caused US part supplies to be down by 43%. Next slide, please. Our platform syncs factory data in real time, cutting analysis time by 80%. AI agents detect major issues under 10 minutes, resolving them 90% faster. By connecting inventory, supply chain, and production, we reduce costs by 30%, increase response by 50%, and save $1 to $4 million annually. We predict, prevent, and act autonomously. Next slide, please. With features like self-learning and healing and up to 5,000% less cost than our competitors to use our platform, we are positioned to immediately target 2,000 to 3,000 mid-range discrete manufacturers in the US impacted by the tariffs. We can save $10 billion annually for them and generate possibly a $2 billion revenue stream for our platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Harpreet. Perfect timing. Judges, please.
I'll go ahead and start on this one. Thank you very much for the presentation. This is ahead of sort of its time, sort of a classical supply chain concern in a market that's not well developed. One of the key questions I would have is, I see these numbers, I see these values, and I know you probably have an underlying understanding based on the platform work that you've done before and how you've simulated these values. Have you spoken to any car manufacturers or parts manufacturing to be able to kind of test the proof of concept? Are they willing and amenable to using a product like yours? Do they have anything? And I don't know the market well. Years ago, I did some work with supply chain for Ford, but are these softwares prevalent in the market? What do your competitors look like? How are you better than them? In particular in the niche that you're looking at. So just kind of get a better idea of that piece would assist, and possibly talking about specifically what your software does to mitigate or cost save or use alternative supplier routes, or how is it providing the benefits to either part manufacturer or the brand that's using the parts.
Thank you. And just to add on that, since if I remember correctly, you already had some engagements with CM's contract manufacturers in aerospace industry, then you might want to highlight that. So first, you could also broaden it up. You're starting off as, if you'd like, to robotaxis or car manufacturers. That's one area. But you can highlight different type of manufacturers and say you're already in engagement with aerospace manufacturer, because that also gives you credibility in saying you already have a solution, right? You developed this solution based on know-how expertise when you worked in the aerospace industry, and now you are using that know-how knowledge to engage with the contract manufacturers to bring this product on the market. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, judges. Next up, Good Loop. They also submitted a video. We will be sharing the judges' feedback with them. Vinod, go ahead, please.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Cher from the Good Loop. Let me ask, have you ever had to struggle for a weekday school pickup or say no to your child's favorite activity just because you couldn't get them there? For so many parents, that's a daily struggle. Over 90% of working families report trouble balancing childcare with work, and no convenient and reliable tools to connect the parents who are ready to help. That's why we are building Good Loop, a community-powered platform where parents support each other with shared rides, childcare, and more. Families can build their own family-centered, trusted network by inviting friends, neighbors, and school parents into their private trusted circle to request and offer help, from ride sharing to tutoring. Safety is our foundation. Only helpers with 3 positive reviews from friends or friends can apply to join your trusted network. Smart technology features like audio monitoring, location tracking, seatbelt photos enable parents to check in anytime, like being with our children. Insurance, compliance, and one-click emergency call offer holistic protection. We use a freemium business model. Revenue streams include transaction fee and subscription fee. We target 20 million US families for 1.2 billion opportunity. Initially, we are launching in the Bay Area. Good Loop stand out in 2 ways: trusted local networks and one supportive ecosystem. Our beta is live on TestFlight with a passionate, experienced team preparing for our Bay Area launch this October. I'm so proud of our team. The real angels make Good Loop's mission possible. Thank you.
Thank you. I can get
Just your
started.
feedback, please.
Yes, thank you. Great presentation. I'd like to hear, it's nice to hear and see things that we mentioned before you incorporated in your feedback, focusing on the safety, trust. One thing is a little bit still not clear is like if you're going to have any kind of devices, let's say there was an audio recording or one call emergency. So is there going to be any physical devices that either for kids or in the cars, or how that would work? Nice to see that you thought through the subscription model and how that works. The bigger question is the validation. So you're trying to, roll out your beta. Do you have a community in mind where you're going to start rolling that out? So you can say, example, if you're in the Bay Area, we're going to focus on this school or this community because, and you can put different factors and say, this is how we're going to test it out. This is our next step. And that's going to be your point of validation, because for you, essentially, you just need to figure out a community where all of this works. And then you'll show traction how this works. You'll have a data to support that. But thank you. Great cause and great presentation.
Thank you for the presentation. Just a few things that I'm looking at. I think at the beginning you talk about the 90% of people struggling with their commitments and family and whatnot. I think it's probably 100%. And I think that's sort of unknown, so you can move through that faster. You mentioned several groups: friends, neighbors, school. It would be interesting to understand the what's in it for me for each of the groups. How do you make sure? So you have busy parents working with busy parents, but does that mean that they benefit each other by switching share riding from here and there? How does the school get involved? Why would the neighbors get involved, and how would they get involved? Are they part of monitoring? I'm sure kids don't want to be monitors, but the parents want to monitor them. So just a couple things there. Then are there services that are above and beyond what the ecosystem, friends, neighbors, and school provide that you would have to include here, whether it be sort of a van pickup or drive service that gets crowdfunded with all the people in a particular zip code or neighborhood or whatever that might be. You have 67 or so clients using the platform, if I understood correctly. Be nice to see what they're using, what they're navigating, some analytics on how people are interacting and reacting to your product so far, or what they've seen. Thank you.
Thank you, judges. Bushido, get ready, please.
Good morning.
2 minutes from now.
Hi, I'm Rita, and this is the story of a fan engagement platform. It started with Amir, my 18-year-old nephew and a die-hard Ronaldo fan. He told me that every day he jumped between 6 different platforms to be on top of Ronaldo's updates, but still couldn't feel part of one fan community, missed updates, or couldn't find what he wanted. A huge inefficiency and an unmet demand. Next, please. Like us, 170 million fans in MENA and India struggle with scattered content and disconnected communities, which can be a $3.4 billion opportunity. Next, please. Pichetto is a platform where fans find everything their celebrity puts out, are connected to their bigger community, and curate what they want to see. Next, please. We consolidate content, commerce, connection, and community. Next, please. And our AI assistant helps fans create personalized highlights that they wish to see from celebrity content, even when they're not putting out fresh updates. Next, please. Unlike competitors, we target MENA and India and focus on hyper-personalization, local language support, and better engagement tools. Next, please. Our freemium revenue model spans fan club memberships, merchandise, and other shared monetization with celebrities. Next, please. We validated the need with interviews, built a clickable prototype and an initial business model, and are working on the MVP. We're targeting launch in 2026. Next, please. My co-founder, Mo, has built 2 AI and blockchain startups as a CTO and raised $40 million, and I led QA for a $20 billion DeFi protocol and bring 15 years of fan culture insight. Next, please. We're seeking warm interest to celebrity teams and strategic advice from investors who've backed fan platforms.
Thank you, team. We'll have to stop you here. Judges, go ahead.
Thank you.
You can go ahead and start. Thank you for the presentation. There's definitely, you've identified the problem well. There are too many sites. Knowing it, because I love to watch soccer as well, and you're always going to 17 locations. I'm still not entirely clear on what sort of, it comes down to the content and why fans will come to your site. The fan generated content is clear, but working with the celebrities, they have contracts, you'll have contracts, there's monetization there, but there will be commitments they have with other, with the ESPNs of the world and whatnot. And I'm not clear on how that gets unraveled. It's something to be, now if it's fan content, it's a different story. Hyper personalization, if you have this for multiple sports and multiple, I don't know how personalized that can be. How would you hyper personalize for users? Maybe a user story there would be good. In terms of the business model overall, you did cover some of the aspects, but there's also advertising. There's a couple of different aspects that might be also part of this, and maybe you bring in a streaming partner that can help too, because what focuses often is not just still picture, but also streaming opportunities here, or maybe multiple streaming opportunities. It kind of depends, but I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great presentation. Just to add to the comments, first of all, nice to see the, again, updates, very clear, crisp, clean slides, nice font, all of that is well packaged. Just to add more, so you're asking for strategic partnerships with celebrity management companies, like agencies. And by the way, within the diversity of celebrities, right? There's going to be different groups. And there's also tiers, as you probably know, in the United States, we have A-listers, B-listers, C-listers. You don't have to go to the A-listers, but you can find micro communities to build up your base, right? And you can test that out within the micro communities. It doesn't have to be a top tier to have a fan or community. If I like your positioning, so you're very clear. It's like we're focusing on this markets, MENA and India. These are our markets. Great. Find micro communities where you can test out your platform, bug out whatever bugs you have it, right? Before you launch it and you approach actual credible celebrities, agencies, and so on. But yeah, and again, you have to, on top of what Steven said, figure out your business model. What's going to be your biggest monetization? What's going to be your biggest revenue, right? How are you going to grow and sustain yourself? And then later on, licensing and partnerships and all that. But nice to see the progress. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, judges. Vital OKR, get ready, please. 2 minutes from now. Oh, it's a recording. We'll play it.
Hi. Let's start with the ugly truth. Leaders and functional teams are spending up to half their time just reporting on OKRs, chasing updates, formatting slides. It's reporting hell. To pinpoint the real pain, I mapped the full OKR value chain from strategy to insights, and the friction is not in planning, but in reporting. The CEO, BizOps teams, and functional leaders all spend weeks nudging each other, pulling from 4 to 5 different tools, and manually building slides. And while they're stuck doing that, insights get delayed and execution stalls. The core wedge for Vital OKR is that while most tools focus only on exec reporting, Vital OKR is purpose-built for functional leaders and chiefs of staff, the people in the trenches. They cut down that 45 to 50% of time spent on reporting and serve as real-time cross-functional insights that not only show what's off, but why. That time saved goes right back into focused execution. We're solving for 3 personas: the CEO who lacks a chief of staff and needs visibility, that functional leader who's drowning in updates, and that chief of staff who's become that human middleware. I spoke to each of these personas. EJ, a founder, said he doesn't realize what's broken until the quarter's over. Dara, a chief of staff at a Series C startup, said there are too many OKRs. And Senia, a functional FinOps leader, said her team spent 3 weeks of manual time reporting every quarter. Our go-to-market aligns to these 3 segments. In Series A, we start light by building OKR hygiene. In Series B to D startups, we reduce OKRs sprawl and automate reporting. And in mid-enterprise, we become that chief of staff's go-to source.
Thank you very much.
That's what Vital OKR is building, what we'll be showcasing in the next pitch. Thank you.
Sorry about judges, your feedback, please.
Yes, I guess I'll go. I like the presentation. Well done. I would say that this is an area that I work a lot with, and there is a component of learning, of education within performance KPIs, OKRs, that it's not just the tool, it's people understanding how to generate the right information. There is interpreting the information, making decisions, and then after action analytic of the analytics to improve the analytics dashboarding. So it's a bit more of an ecosystem than just the tool. And I think that's partially implied, but it'd be nice if it was described. The fact that the CEO is not aware of certain things is more than just the tool. It's part of a culture that might be lacking certain things. I like the presentation. I'd like to see a couple of changes. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to add, it's again the bigger question on execution, where you're at, right? If you've already, it's good to have all of those things and flowing in together. Solution at work shows, do you have a prototype, or are you working on the prototype? Do you have a potential customer or pilot that you're planning to validate that, right? You're trying to show us that there's a value of aligning all of this OKRs in your interface, whatever that's going to be. So what's the output or outcome of that, right? How do we know that when somebody's using your tool, they're more efficient, effective, they're making the right decisions, all that. So if you have any type of validation, if you have early discussions even for customers, it's good to showcase that you have a pipeline or potential pipeline, or you're building this tool with someone to demonstrate the effectiveness of it. Thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you, judges. DigiFab AI, get ready, please.
Hello, this is
1
DigiFab
second.
AI. Oh,
We will
sorry.
start 2 minutes.
Let's start with the ugly truth. Leaders in functional teams are spending up to half.
We'll start the timer again now, please.
Just like Waymo automates driving, DigiFab AI automates robotic manufacturing. We reduce scrap, minimize downtime, and prevent late-stage defects. I'm Dr. Işıl Berkün. I'm the founder of DigiFab AI. Next, please. Currently, there is 28 billion lost to defects across critical industries to defects. Less than 5% of robots adapt to real-world shifts, and 40% of late-stage failures happen due to poor feedback. Quality control today is reactive and very much error-prone. We are making it productive and intelligent. Next, please. Robots can't adapt to heat, vibration, or material variation. DigiFab AI is the autopilot for real-time vision, thermal sensing, and correction. No rework, no waste, just right. Next, please. What makes us different is we do real-time correction, not just detection, and we are hardware agnostic. Next, please. There's a huge market size. Currently, we are looking at 200 billion TAM, 3.5 billion SAM, and 500 billion for our initial obtainable market from 1,000 early adopters. Next, please. I'm pleased to announce that we have two big pilots in progress right now in metal and bioprinting, and we are signing another one next week. We have also secured 25K from Google Cloud credits, and we are currently producing our first MVP. Next, please. This is our business model. We are focusing on per user per month SaaS pricing. Next, please. Currently, we are in phase 1, working on agile industries, moving on to aerospace. Next, please. We are working with great advisors. Next, please. And we are focusing on Q2 for Series A. Next, please. Thank you so much for listening.
Perfect timing. Judges, your feedback, please.
I can go first. Thank you. Great presentation. You touched on a lot of points and what the questions that we had before, you covered that. Some of the slides, again, were a little bit heavy on the content, so you can consolidate that and make it a little bit more streamlined. And if you have a lot of text, especially for this presentation, for short presentations, you can have this set of decks, with a longer, more detailed information. You can get to, that's the story flow. If you want to talk a little bit about the team, you can talk about the team and just a little bit, highlighting where you get the insight of that. On the traction, again, if you have any more upcoming pipelines, partnerships, validations, all of that will be valid to showcase that your solution works, right? Because if you're stating you can reduce the amount of defects with AI tools, well, how do we know that specifically your technology compared to other technologies, unique solutions are effective? But you have a very specific niche in the fab space, so this is great to hear, and congratulations on all the progress. Good job.
Thank you for the presentation. Enjoyed it. I think it's a great niche opportunity. Very interesting how you're tackling these different areas of, let's say, defect or inefficiency in the production. What I would ask you is, for this company in metal and the other one in bioprinting, how did you pick, if you could succinctly say, we believed we could do this for them, we could reduce their overall defects by X percentage, and we have in the last 2 months done this, or in the last 6 months done that, I think it would be a testament to what you promised you were delivering to those test clients or initial clients. I don't know if they're paid or non-paid, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that the product works. That's what people are going to be focusing on. Thank you.
Thank you for the feedback. We have 4 more pitches. Please bear with us. It will take about 20 more minutes. Digital Locker, get ready, please. Stage is yours. 2 minutes.
Hi, Anu Ramraj. I'm Global Top 25 digital transformation leader working with several state leaders, and I'm here to present DigiLocker, a problem that was brought to us by state leadership. Next slide, please. You've heard the story of Jordan, one of 50,000 kids who struggles to enroll in school because his documentation, his vital documentation is lost. Same problem with disaster victims, same problem with retirees. There's about 1.6 trillion in retirement funds that are lost, not claimed. Right. Next slide. So our solution, DigiLocker, is an AI and blockchain-enabled platform. Users can upload their documents. They can also retrieve them directly from government agencies. They can get them notarized. And the unique aspect of it is the agentic workflows that we've built around it so that it makes it seamless for them to fill out applications. Next one. Again, Jordan gets into his dream school. Next one. We have a working prototype, and these are the categories of documents that we're starting off with our MVP. Next. There is, next slide. There are other solutions on the market, but we are distinct in that none of them have the workflows, none of them have the notary support. We've looked at other governments that have done this, and we've learned from them, but those solutions are not applicable right off the box in the US because there's distinct things in the US that we have to factor for. Next. We are launching our prototype, our MVP actually in September with 50,000 foster kids, and we have a soft commitment from the Treasurer's Office to do so. Next, we will break even in 2026. We have factored in our costs, and we will hit an ARR of $100 million with 1 million subscribers. We have the right team to do this.
Thank you very much. We'll have to stop you here. Judges, your feedback, please.
I can jump in. Thank you for the presentation. Provides further clarity from our discussions from our last pitch. I like the idea that this is sort of a cold storage in this particular area for foster kids. I also see a lot of other potential revenue stream, having been close to the fires that were created in the California area and how people have lost a lot of vital information. This idea of cold storage, if you make a solution that's simple, I think it has a lot of potential for in a lot of areas. But just to focus on where you are with this, if you make it simple and I think it can be very valuable. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. Just quickly, since you have a diverse subset of customers, users, and beneficiaries, right? So I would assume initially foster kids are your beneficiaries. They're not going to be your users or customers. Your customers are going to be government agencies, maybe some businesses, right? And the users from regular people, there's a subset of users from the businesses to people, and then including your beneficiaries, some of those beneficiaries. So it'd be good if you could do that ecosystem exercise mapping for your own as a backend, but to present that at the high level, just who are going to be your customers, users, beneficiaries. In your case, since you're impact oriented, you can present the impact and you can have subset of impact metrics that after your pilot, you'll be able to track and present and say, these are the impact that we've created over a period of time. And then the question also on the revenue, since assuming this exercise or this pilot, this is going to be funded by the government, then, okay, well, who's going to be your long-term customers and partners, right? And you could engage B2B businesses as your customers for the records keeping and providing that information where they pay you subscription fees or whatnot. But that's a sort of like what's to come in next, and you can show that trajectory, what type of customers you'll be onboarding in the future to show the longer term vision for your venture. Thank you.
Thank you, judges, for the feedback. We will be giving all founders an extra 5 seconds since our internet is getting more and more laggy. Rooted AI, get ready, please. And 2 minutes and 5 seconds from now.
Good morning, everyone. Before I tell you more about Rooted.ai, we'd like you to hear from our customer. Next, please.
Hi, I'm Amelia. This morning, I went out for my 6 a.m. run,
but halfway through I felt that dreaded scratchy throat. Because of allergies, I can't use honey or turmeric, so I pull out Rooted AI. It studied my profile, and in seconds it suggested a licorice root tea. It also explained the science behind this recommendation. By 7 a.m., I was sipping a remedy I would have never found on my own. Within a few minutes, my irritation eased, and I was confident and ready for work. Later in the afternoon, my son had a fever. Instead of reaching straight for Tylenol, I asked Rooted AI for a safe first step. It recommended placing cool bottle gourd slices on his feet, an Ayurvedic remedy backed by pediatric studies. Within 20 minutes, his temperatures came down. Rooted AI is the personalized and trusted wellness companion I have been looking for.
Next, please. Amelia's story is not unique. Searching for natural remedies is confusing with too much misinformation and little trusted guidance. So, how do we move beyond these barriers? We want to make wellness simple, credible, and personal using AI that's rooted in culture and backed by science. For this, we had to understand our audience. Next slide, please. Oh, the next slide, please. Most people we spoke to already buy supplements, but struggle to find trustworthy, evidence-based options. Next slide, please. The wellness market is growing fast.
We'll have
You
to
can look
stop
at
you
the numbers.
here.
Okay,
Judges, your feedback, please.
thank you.
Shall I?
Go
Okay,
ahead.
I'll jump in real quick. Thank you for the presentation. I Amelia is an AI, I believe, and I don't know if it best portrays a customer persona of a person that doesn't exist. I know the story sounds real, but I would rather see it on a slide or a much shorter version, maybe narrow it down to 20 seconds or something like that. I think you can tell the story in one slide and be more effective than an AI telling the story. That's just my bias at this point. I like the concept. There's a lot of information out there. A portal that would allow you to access this is a very good idea. And it's not necessarily approved by in the US will be an FDA or whatnot, but just a subscription-based model potentially for this type of awareness and information. I think it would be a very good to tell that story with actual people that work through and either people who have the knowledge, those people that seek the knowledge, people using the knowledge for and buying different natural medicines and how they feel their outcomes. I think you can tell that story well, even without an AI product. You can still tell that story, and the AI product will make it better and reach more people. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to add to that, I agree with Steven. Sometimes it helps or hurts with using the AI generated profiles. When you said the video from customer, I actually expected that you're going to have your customer talking about your product. So I was like, oh, that's AI. So that was kind of like, so make sure people don't have that. I mean, it's still, you can use AI generated images and videos, but make sure people don't have expectations that you actually have, because that's kind of like was like, oh, okay, well, that's not a real customer. But then I think my feeling was I would like to hear more about, since you talk about the wisdom, right? I said, okay, well, where's the wisdom's coming from? Is it from AI? Right? Because that's not as interesting as if you actually show what Steve said, like people, where's that people coming? Is it from communities? Is it like a know-how? Is it generational knowledge? Is it doctors, pediatricians? Where's all of that coming from, right? And then a lot of times people, again, culturally with different communities, they tend to use that knowledge, and then that knowledge tends to work because they lived in those environments, their bodies were adapted to use those type of herbs for generations, for thousands of years, and that's why it works for them. It may not work for me because I'm not from that environment, but something else might work for me. So that might be cultural aspect. and that AI can help with that customization. But in general, it'd be good if you highlight that sort of the secret sauce of your solution that you provide for people. But thank you. Good presentation.
Thank you, judges. Frameshift AI, get ready, please. The stage is yours. 2 minutes, 5 seconds.
Hello, welcome to Frameshift AI. We are producing agentic digital co-workers to enable companies to stay competitive in the age of AI. Next page. So we're going to start with innovation. I've been working in the innovation space for 15 years, have discussed this problem over the last few months with leaders from Volvo, SAP, and Mattel, and they all are afraid of falling behind in the innovation game because there's too much data out there and we as a human can't compile and understand and find hidden connections. Next slide, please. How do we solve that problem? By providing those innovation teams an agentic digital co-worker. This co-worker will do the deep research for them, which usually takes a lot of time, and reveals the non-obvious hidden connections and provides new opportunities and solutions to them. This could be products or patents. This is accelerating the innovation pipeline, shortens time to market, and generates a competitive advantage, all at the cost of a junior professional. Next slide, please. We're exploring a new business model. We're not selling the product. We are actually allow companies to hire our digital employee for 75K a year. We are rooting for manufacturing and energy companies at this time because they really have to innovate and move fast. Next slide, please. So here's an idea of our prototype. It's a single platform. It's designed not to replace the human, but to work with the human. So we're focusing on human in the loop from the beginning. It's a structured workflow. As I said, a single work platform. All the data is in one place compared to a Gemini or OpenAI, where your tools, information, and brainstorming ideas might go away to the Zaya company. Next slide, please. So about me, I've been working in innovation for the last 15 years, have recently completed the Google Startup School and Agentic AI work building the prototype. I'm looking for a CTO and CPO. Next slide, please. So next steps for us is building the MVP, onboarding a design partner. I've been talking to Mattel. They're very interested right now in building the team. The ask at this point is to get introductions to industry leaders and investors.
You stop it here. Thank you. Judges, your feedback, please.
I can jump in and get started. Thank you. Great presentation. I think a couple of questions. One is how the competitive position. I think we mentioned last time, how are you going to be different? And how are you going to position yourself to be different? And if you have your first early adopter customer, someone you can pilot the solution, that's great, because that gives you, again, credibility. Say this is going to be go to market, you validate it. I'm not sure about pricing 75K a year as a digital employee if you're underselling yourself, right? Because underselling yourself, because if you are working with a big organization, if you're saving them a lot of money, I would not understand, because 75K, it's not even within the margin of error for them. This is absolutely nothing. So you want to make sure, especially if you have big clients, big customers, you price yourself fairly. And again, keep in mind that you also would need to pay for resources of using AI platforms to work with them, right? So you got to make sure you price yourself fairly in that sense. But overall, I think it's coming together, and then nice to see the, more focus within the industries and examples. So you can say, this is where we're going to go, this is where we're going to start. And then later on, you can show the strategies on the type of industries and customers and the go-to-market expanded strategy where you're going to go roll out after you go with Mattel. But thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you for the presentation. I think the experience, I can see the experience imbibed into the presentation that you have and your research areas as well. And again, as Alina said, I think selling it as an employee is very much underselling it. This person could be one of the more productive people in the space without being a person, and could benefit more than one resource. Maybe it's a licensing product type scenario. And I was going to also say that so it'd be interesting. I don't know if you can use them, you know, maybe Mattel's, if you're already working with them, it'd be interesting to see what they saw that you pitched to them that they found valuable and how their folks are going to use this. So step us through a use case, even if it's, I mean, if it's already happened, maybe in general sense, you know, nothing proprietary or whatnot. And the other piece is looming in the back of my mind is when I saw the charts of the cost of processing power, cost of chip use, and the cost of energy use. So how does that work in this equation? For anybody out there that's using AI tools, how are you focusing this in your revenue model and your cost piece? Because it's going to be huge, right? But great presentation. Looks good. Thank you.
Thank you, judges. 2 more teams to go. Ola's help. Get ready, please. The stage is yours. 2 minutes, 5 seconds.
Go back a slide. Oh, never mind. Millions of us track our health with wearables and practice mindfulness, but most of us still wake up feeling off with no idea why. The data's there, but it's fragmented and contextless, leaving us to connect the dots. No system bridges this gap between mental and physical wellness. That's the problem Olis Health is here to solve. Next. Meet Olis, your mental fitness intelligence layer that brings mind and body together. Olis connects with your existing wearables like Fitbit or Apple Watch. It includes built-in journaling and chat-based coaching. Our AI combines your biometric data and daily reflections to deliver personalized mental fitness plans you can actually understand and use. And with privacy built in, users always control their own data. Our prototype is live and engagement with our mental fitness plan is strong. Next slide. Mental health struggles cost global workforce over $1 trillion in lost productivity every year. To bring Olis to market, we're starting with HR leaders like Alex, people in high-stress sectors like tech and healthcare, where burnout hurts retention and wellness spending is already flowing. We're targeting 17,000 mid-sized organizations, a market worth $876 million a year, based on headcounts and industry standard pricing. Next slide. We're a mission-driven team with deep expertise in product, data, and behavior change. We've launched at Amazon, Peloton, and Microsoft, built AI tools, and completed Stanford's GSB's lead program. This is personal for us, and we're building solutions we wish we had. Thank you.
Thank you. You had 21 seconds to spare. Judges, your feedback, please.
Yes, we'll take more time for feedback. Thank you so much. Great presentation. Since you're already live, right? It'd be really good to hear who you're testing it on, who your customers, partners, pilots, if you're B2B, right? If you're focusing on businesses, if you have a partner, I would say Stanford, who is piloting this tool with their employees, right? Or within Stanford community. Maybe it's a small pilot within, it doesn't have to be a business, but on the user side, right? Then on the user testing, what's the data there, right? Like how often people actually log in, what's the outcome? If you've been live, I'm just gonna say 3 months, right? What's the span over 3 months? Which typically, usually in the beginning, there's a peak, there's a drop, what's the retention rate, churn rates? So once you enter the, you know, the beta or testing users, it comes in the data information. So we need to see the data. So if you're live, if you have anything live, show us how it works, what users think about it, not even jumping into customers, right? If you already have pilots with customers, great, show us the information of customers, right? If the business is already implementing that, how do you make them happy? Right? And that's going to lead to, and how are you going to make money? But thank you so much. Great presentation. I'll leave some time for Steve.
Thank you.
Great presentation. Thank you. I can see you guys have the experience in producing these products. What I would say is that in your presentation, you talk about 3 areas: the journaling, chat-based coaching, and wearables. The prototype live that you have, which piece are you focusing on now? What are people being exposed to? Alina talked about analytics. You said the engagement is strong, and you left us there. That's really good, but what does strong mean? That means they're going a lot there. There's a lot of people. They're using the journaling. They're not. I mean, that would get us into the meat of how this is being interacted with now. I would also say put the opportunity before your discussion on the actual product and prototype that you're talking about. Give it a little bit more time. you don't give away 20 seconds of your presentation. You got 20 seconds to talk about whatever that prototype live was, maybe show a slide, show what people are looking at to get us a better mental visual of what people are looking at. Then in terms of revenue model, I don't want to repeat what Alina said already. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great presentation.
Thank you very much, judges, for your feedback. Thrive is up next. Vinod, if you could let me share my screen. The stage is yours, Thrive.
I'm a former software CTO and CEO with a child that struggles with anorexia. Given me, go back please, given me first-hand experience of eating disorder care and the opportunities that exist to improve it. Next slide, please. 30 million Americans will suffer from an eating disorder in their lives. As the most deadly mental illness there is, we'll lose someone to it every 52 minutes and at a cost of almost $65 billion a year. Next slide, please. Our platform tackles the problem on all fronts. Apps to guide and assist the families, collaboration with their treatment team, and improve clinical processes. This represents a significant market, around $3.5 billion US TAM, 5 times that worldwide. We start with the parents. At the start of their journey, their problems are fear of the unknown and how to navigate a complex system. And our app is designed to help with that. Next slide, please. This app addresses key needs of the parents. First, validation that their fears are justified. Then how to address those concerns with their kids, teachers, and doctors. And finally, learning more about what the condition is and what to expect next. As a freemium product, we give, go back please. As a freemium product, we give access to the initial content for free with a subscription required for full access. Crisis support help is always available to all users. Our MVP is underway, expected availability is in 8 to 10 weeks. And for Pipeline, the largest ED group in the US, is connecting us with parents in need of our solution. We've got 2 upcoming panels this summer and a spotlight in their next newsletter. Last slide, please. I'm fortunate to have deep experience in our advisory team with clinical and research specialists, eating disorder experts, and plenty of business acumen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Judges, your feedback, please.
Go ahead and start. I like the slides very much. They were very clean and clear, concise, and there's plenty of medical and other experience on the team, which is great. There's a very large market working with those parents and how to work with them and how to sort of get them into the pipeline of using the product will be interesting. How you build them into this, how long that takes. I can see one of the things would be good to understand is what's included in freemium and what's included in the paid subscription. What sort of services are in there that will be key in this process, and how do you see that journey for the let's say the parents, or how long does that take? How would they access the product? Maybe just a little bit more on that. I think you had a slide there, but I was just sort of processing and reading through the slides. I might have missed it in 2 minutes. And I think that free and what's free and what's locked, and when they would start using that, maybe once using your product will give us a sense of your revenue model as you put it in here. There's other aspects of revenue model which I think would be important to discuss. How do the different medical providers work in this space? And I think you have some slides that show that, but not necessarily discuss it from the financial model perspective. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to add to Steve's comments, I like how you present the problem. One of the slides on the solution was a bit small. There's lots of information there. It was a bit small when you talked about there's no one solution. There's lots of different, the stakeholders. You talked about caregivers, patients, parents, kids, teachers, doctors, lots of stakeholders, right? So perhaps presenting it as a systematic problem, right? And then how do you fit in within the existing ecosystem? Because every time investor hears that you need to engage all of those stakeholders, that's a risk. Because if you cannot connect with teachers and if your system fails, well, are you still going to have operational platform, right? So making sure that you're clear of who your solution engages at least early on. Like, do you have to engage teachers? Because teachers they're not paid a lot and they don't want to have extra work to do for something that they're not paid for, right? So you just need to make sure. And then the doctors, like, are you going to go doctor to doctor based on the patient, who patients belongs to? So every time there's lots of different stakeholders, it's great that systematically you're solving that, but it just shows that there's underlying risks for you to fail, because if any of those parts of ecosystems don't connect and your system's based on top of that, then you might have underlying risks for that, for the execution and implementation. So just maybe very clear, it's like we're starting here, then we're going to expand, we're going to provide more solutions. So that's not sounds like, oh, we have to engage all of these stakeholders in order for our system to work, but saying we're going to focus on this. And then we're going to be, perhaps it's parents and kids, right? And then you're going to expand and you'll have interfaces for teachers or interfaces for doctors. And then you show what's the incentive for them to use, what's the value add for them to sign up and join, because it's a systematic problem. It's not just the problem between the doctor and the patient or parent and child. But yeah, just think about the story and strategy, how you're going to position that, because it might sound a bit overwhelming and for investors, like, oh, they're going to do all of that, but there's a lot of risks built in with execution on this. But thank you, great presentation.
Thank you so much to all founders, and thank you so much to our judges. Judges, I would love for you to take the stage for some closing remarks, maybe what differences you see between the pitches on pitch day 2 versus pitch day 1, any correlations, and then we can end the meeting.
Sure, great. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. It's really nice to see the progress and changes that you're making. Congratulate you on your passion, your journey. Really good to hear again where you are. If you have any customers, if you have any traction, just highlight that, because that speaks more than you can sell, oh, our product is great. Tell us you have customers who love your product, who use your product, you have signups, you have beta testers, anyone. And then one thing that have not heard a lot is that what is it next for you? What do you need? Right? Because sometimes we pitch from the investor perspective. Sometimes it could be customer perspective. It could be a partner perspective, right? Even here on the call, we could have a network of people who could help you with something, right? So what is the next for you? Is there something that you're looking for? What's the gap? What do you need to get to the next level? So that will be also great to hear, because perhaps maybe I can help you with something. But it was not a clear ask, even if it's not money, if it's just something from some interest. So thank you so much, and look forward to the next presentations.
Thank you for the presentations. One of the things that's sort of key in this discussion is the more you get to know what your business is and who your clients are, what they're really thinking about, the more targeted your solutions will be, and maybe what you should do and what you shouldn't do, or at least to start. And remember that this is an iterative and incremental process. Don't be afraid to pivot if it's necessary. Oftentimes, people will see your product or your service, and they may have different perspective on how it could be used because they have exposure to a portfolio. I mean, the investor has, it might be an investor with 30 positions, just as an example, 30 positions in an ecosystem in which your product fits very well, and that's not something that you know. These days, I find the venture market very striated for different reasons, different industries, different sources of capital, feeder funds. When I was a founder and started my career independently, there were not nearly as many. It was either they kicked you out of the office or they kept you around. It's really a little bit simpler. But getting to know which areas, which ecosystems work for you, and really asking, asking the questions of your customers, how they would perceive your product, how they might use it, would they pay for it? Doesn't matter if it's there or not. It doesn't matter. The MVP doesn't it matters, but it's really getting a sense of, do you have that positive momentum, that people are behind your product, the way you're selling it, the way you're marketing. Sometimes people can give you the marketing words that you don't have, and oftentimes that does happen as well. So be open and willing to test the product with anybody who might be a potential customer for you, or interface, and see what they think. That's one of my best pieces of advice for you, because right now it's costing you sort of bootstrap capital, but you're not in a position where you have investors on top of you expecting results. So any sort of ironing out you can do now before there's money involved in corporate, institutional involvement, the better off you'll be. You'll be able to answer more and more questions there. So I wish you well. I mean, the presentations have evolved; they've moved forwards. I think what we'll be looking for. I don't know, Victor, if you want to talk a little bit about the pitch number 3 and what the expectations are there, or that's sort of in the mix. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, judges. Yes, the pitches on pitch day 3 will be 3 minutes, and we will share more details very quickly with you all. Thank you so much, Steve and Alina, for coming in. We hope you all can join us for pitch day 3 as well. We're definitely learning a lot from you, and I definitely see a big improvement in all founding teams. Thank you so much for pushing so hard and improving, and we greatly enjoy working with you all and seeing your continued progress. We can end the meeting here. Thanks again for your time. We really appreciate it, and see you all very soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Take
Take
care.
care.
Bye.